Yeah, today was bangers. What's going on, guys? Welcome. We are back. Power Hour live stream. What's going on, guys? Watching QQQ here. We are approaching VWAP. If it gets back over VWAP and confirms over, I probably will take close out of the rest of my 330 puts. But for the majority, I obviously took a lot of gains on QQQ already today. So feeling pretty good. It's been an awesome day already. I haven't felt, power hour's been like very lately. That's why I'm kind of thinking about doing the stream in the morning. But I had like a 400% banger on SPY today. That was really nice. Watching QQQ here to kind of see how it acts into the close. We have 34 minutes till the close right now, guys. So yeah, I can definitely switch and try to do some morning streams for sure. Yeah, we can do that for sure. All the really good trades, honestly, the big opportunities were today in the middle of the day on QQQ and SPY. Hit the top pretty nicely. Obviously, was pretty surprised by the tape this morning. Sorry, guys, I just ate lunch. But we had a very, very bullish move this morning. A lot of it felt like they were really squeezing out a lot of people. And then, we topped out in this 348 area. And then we've kind of seen this pullback since, right? But we've been basing in this 341, 30 area, right? And so it definitely looks like they're trying to create a lot of support in this 340 to 341 range, right? So SPY's been holding 431 relatively well today, but it's having a little bit of trouble with that 435 area. One thing that is of note today is we have seen some relative strength in QQQ versus the rest of the market, right? So SPY and other names like that, right? We've seen a lot of relative strength in QQQ, and that probably has to do with some more speculative assets ripping. Bitcoin's been going crazy today. And a lot of those names, right? Watching to see if we're going to break VWAP here. Looks like we are. Going to wait for this candle to close on QQQ, but if we see a confirmed move above, I'll probably exit the rest of my 330 puts. Really nice trade there. Went 86 to 135. Ton of bangers today. It was I think it was 7 for 7. So still having some trouble with VWAP here on QQQ. Lucid and Zoom earnings after the close tonight should be definitely pretty interesting. Implied move on Zoom is 18%, just a heads up. So ever since that one earnings when they beat and went 30% afterwards, it got crazy, right? So every earnings they have, the implied move is usually pretty nuts. Big bid just got sold through on QQQ, so watching for a potential downside move back down to 341 here into the close. I do like DDD. DDD does look good. They always have good earnings, too. All right, guys. I took took DDD 18 calls for earnings. I took the 18 call at 129. 127. No, ER Lotto. Why did I take not a lot of trades during the 10 a.m. hour when everything was going crazy? I don't know. I'm always a little bit more cautious with the growth gap up off open. It's easy to kind of get shoved, and I knew that QQQ was in a bigger resistance area. A lot of things did go crazy today, but I felt like, I didn't feel like it was an A+ setup on a lot of things, and probably a little bit too focused on QQQ, but am I not worried about premium burn on the Costco 485 puts? I'm not. That IV is super low on Costco, and the implied move is only 4%. So I'm actually thinking that we will see an IV bump into earnings on Thursday, and I'm going to probably hold some for earnings themselves. QQQ pulling back here as we approach the 335 time slot. Again, under this pre-market high, this was our pre-market high here at 343.11. So watching this area closely on QQQ here. How did I know not to exit the QQQ earlier? Because that wick over VWAP was pretty telling. You can kind of tell, like, the tape is definitely more sell heavy right now. SPY pulling back as well. Yeah, UPST did go crazy today. I saw that. All right, guys. QQQ under this 343 area now. I'm just playing with like 2% of gains on those DDD lottos. It's extremely risky, but they normally do pretty well on earnings. So I went with basically at the money calls on DDD. All right, guys, QQQ fading down a little bit here. I'm looking for a move into this 341 area now. I'm already in this trade right now as we speak. I'm in the 330 puts for March 2nd, which is Wednesday. I'm still holding about 40% of that position. Sold the 0 days for about 110% move. Same on SPY, but SPY was a little bit over 400%, which was, or just at 400%, which was awesome. My plan with Costco is to take these into Thursday, which is the earnings report. I'm going to probably sell some on Wednesday, and then I will hold. I'm going to hold some for earnings. I'm going to, this will be a larger, for earnings position for me. It's still a gamble, so I'm going to be out of 70% of the position at least. But I think that Costco's got a pretty good chance to fade on earnings. QQQ seeing a pretty strong wick off this 342 area. Under 341 would be where I would maybe have some interest in taking a supplemental trade, but I'm already in this position, so and I have a pretty decent average. But we rejected VWAP again hard here into the close, so I wouldn't be surprised to see this pull back into this 341 area, guys. More likely than not, we're going to test that level, right? Because that's kind of our next area of support. We have seen a lot of wicks up, which is illustrating some buying pressure coming up from these wicks. The big level to test will be this 341.34 area. That's been a major area of support all day. I'm not playing any other earnings today. I'm probably just going to play the DDD earnings. I think it's you don't want to go for the earnings that everybody's playing. Everybody's going to play Zoom probably. Everybody's, you know what I mean? So you want to and those have, of course they know that, right? So that's why they have the highest implied move, and they have the highest IV usually too, right? The earnings that you usually are going to hit big on are going to be the ones that don't have massive implied moves, right? So Costco is fantastic because the implied move is only 4%, and I'm basically playing a strike that's not 2% out of the money, right? So I love the risk to reward on a play like Costco. I think it'll be like Home Depot. I'm trying to stick away from the crowds with these earnings this week and just play the ones that I think have a solid chance. Yeah, I still have my Apple puts. I thought those were going to print with futures the way they were last night, but we'll see. I'm kind of basically just keeping them as they're kind of like a hedge at this point, I guess. Okay, so watching this 342.14 area, this again, a lot of wicks down to this area, so that's been illustrated as pretty strong support. But what I'm looking for is a move into this 341 area before close. Guys, if you don't feel comfortable holding something like Costco overnight, then don't do it. I'm playing it. I've given my reasoning for why, and I'll show you the chart again, but it's, it doesn't trade a ton of volume every day, and it's at big resistance. So the risk to reward for me is there, right? We're at resistance, earnings on Thursday. It was at 480 as recently as the 24th, right? Which would have these puts deep in the money. So I'm personally fine with holding it. But if you don't feel comfortable, then don't do it. You know what I mean? It's you have to align with what's comfortable for you. All right, QQQ, looks like we're going to get this move here. Big sell candle to the downside now. So watching for a break below 341.32. SPY is breaking down as well. Let's see if we break this 342 area on QQQ. This has been a monster area of support lately. Again, as you can tell, SPY and QQQ kind of trading relatively similar. However, SPY, right, is trading a little bit weaker than QQQ, right, if you look at the relative strength of both. So let's see if we get SPY under this 431 area. Right, so bottom today during market hours has been this 430.70 area. Excuse me, 430.48. So far they're bouncing. We have 20 minutes left in the trading day. I'm not going to hold probably many of these QQQ puts overnight, maybe a few. But only because to me, it feels like the market is ready for a larger pullback, and I feel like the tape has flipped a little bit. But again, this market has shown that it's been very bullish at points today. So, yep, 485 puts on Costco. The reason, again, is they have a low implied move. So the implied move on Costco is only 4.8%, I think, and the IV is stupid low. It's like 60, right? But if you look at Costco, compare the weekly chart on Costco, right, to the weekly chart on Home Depot, right? And I know it seems weird, but they kind of both decent fundamental businesses, but they both, like, if they mention inflation, right, like this is what happened to Costco, to Home Depot, very similar charts, very, very similar. And I really do think that this has a high potential to pay really nicely. That's why I'm in it. You don't have to be in it. I'm in it. I'm going to sell some on Wednesday and Thursday, and then hold some for earnings. Looking like SPY wants to hold that 431 area. I kept like 8% of those puts that we had 0 day. Awesome gain on those. I'm not going to be upset. But again, we'll have to see how we close on SPY and QQQ. And I'm playing at the money calls basically on DDD, right? So I'm playing the 18 calls. Had a really amazing day. I don't want to give any back. So pretty low volume on SPY, I will mention, guys. It's been a pretty kind of like just sideways, track the last 2 hours, right, since we had that bigger move down. But again, that kind of main bias level for me, and there we go, Webull decides to close, is going to be this 431.60 area, right? All right, guys, QQQ and SPY look like they're getting some buyers here. Not that I want to abandon the position prematurely, but it's right below my average now on the QQQ 330 puts. I'm going to sell another 20%, 25% of those and keep 15% overnight. I don't personally want to take a loss on the last 40%, or anything decent. I got it, Lance. I can type it. Yeah. It's a pretty solid exit on QQQ. Just got like $1 move there. Yeah, the 430 put's probably too much. Like, if you're gonna play Costco earnings, I'd rather, you'd probably want to be closer to no more than 5% out of the money, because it's probably not gonna move like a ton, but a move down to 450, right? The 430 puts will expire worthless that Friday. But That's why I always say if you're going to actually hold through earnings, you should be like in the money or at the money or like max 5%, out. Decent exit there on QQQ, trying to push over VWAP now into the close. It's been a little bit of a slower day since, we had that major kind of candle, right? That kind of kill candle off VWAP. Didn't even see I thought we were going to see kind of a prolonged fade under 431, but, under 341, but we didn't really get it. SPY, kind of the same story, right? We thought we'd see a bigger move under 432. We got to 430. That sent the puts another 100%, but as far as that goes, it's been an awesome day already. I don't really want to risk it for the biscuit personally. I'm going to hold some QQQ puts as lottos overnight just because I feel like I have a pretty solid average on the 330s. And I do think the market is a little bit overextended. Lucid making a nice move into the close. I'm personally not going to play Lucid earnings. I don't think the risk reward is there personally on Lucid. Big move up on QQQ. That was a pretty solid exit. Yeah, no worries. Happy to help. I don't want you guys to buy contracts that are going to expire worthless on you. So again, guys, we're having a relatively dull power hour just because there's not a ton of like A+ setups in my opinion. UPST does look good, but it's right at major resistance. A lot of the growth names are kind of gapping into major resistance here. We did have a pretty crazy mover in small cap land today. Mullen gapped like it's up 165% today, which is nuts. And it's seemed really strong. But again, the one earnings I am playing tonight is DDD. I am taking the $18 calls. I think that this one has a pretty good shot to make a big move. So again, DDD, $18 calls. Wouldn't be surprised to see a move to 20, 23, something like that, right? So that's my plan for tonight as far as earnings go. I'm a little bit under the weather right now, actually. I know you guys probably can't tell, but my voice is kind of going a little bit. It is the first of the month also tonight. So, we'll be kind of busy ushering all the new patrons in also. But we do have a video coming out this week on Wednesday. And starting probably tomorrow, I'm going to try to get a schedule down to do some more like mid-morning streams like we did on Lotto Friday. I think that the power hours have just been kind of a little bit lackluster lately, not as many opportunities as I'd like. So I think I'm going to try to do like a 9:45 type of stream in the future this coming month. So I think that that'll be really fun. I think that that's something you guys will like as well. I think it'll be beneficial for everyone. And like I said, when the action returns, I can start getting on live more in Power Hour again. But I think right now, I would say the best trades have kind of been between that like 9:45 and 11:30 hour. So nothing too crazy. I am going to be I'll be trading the small account challenge tomorrow. I didn't trade it today primarily because I couldn't get a good feel for the tape until we saw that kind of bigger move down. So I will be getting back on the 1K challenge grind tomorrow. That would be Eastern Standard Time. Yep. And if you didn't notice, we put a graphic out last night. We have the referral giveaway going on this month. If you refer someone that joins the Patreon and they sign up, they just need to DM LD Trades saying you sent them to the Patreon, right? Like you gave them the heads up, and you'll be credited like a referral. And if you get 5 of those, you get a standing desk, which is what I'm using right now, or a LG ultra wide monitor for free shipped to your door. I thought it was pretty cool. Most services on Twitter that are stock related do some type of giveaway, right? But or for referrals, so we wanted to kind of do something a little bit more special. SPY and QQQ getting a move here. SPY making a bigger move over VWAP now. Yeah, just all the cheap stocks are just getting their runs. Yeah, man, I can definitely put Lucid, Roblox, all those names. I can definitely try to get them back on there. Absolutely. Interesting little end of day pump here on SPY and QQQ. Just keeping some lotto sized 330 puts on QQQ overnight. And I do have some DDD earnings lottos and some Costco earnings puts. So those are the three things I have overnight. As always, they never encompass more than 5% of my available capital right now. So keeping it really small on the overnights, primarily almost strictly day trades right now. So, that's what's been working. Short oil boys. I don't know if I'm a short oil boy yet. Maybe, but they ripped today. So, Oxy, all those names ripped. They're still getting a big move. XOM's up too, I believe. Slightly. Kind of gapping right into resistance here at close. So we'll see how QQQ acts this evening and overnight. Obviously, we had a very volatile overnight session last night. Interested to see how it works today. I do know, obviously, the Ukraine kind of like leaders and Russia had a meeting today. Don't know how that really went, but I heard mixed things from different sources. So I think right now it's kind of just wait and see mode, guys. Remember, we do have Powell speaking this week. So do expect some extra volatility. That's one reason I'm kind of holding a little bit of that put action overnight. Is I just kind of think the daily is, the hourly is a little bit overextended on QQQ still, but two strong hourly candles to kind of end the day. But right now, like I said, just wait and see. It was a really fire day in the room. I think like 7 of 7 on day trades. And so I couldn't be more pleased with how today went. Nailed every move that I wanted to. I'm definitely taking SoFi calls for earnings for sure. All right, guys, we are in our last 5-minute candle of the day. Interested to see if we close over this 346 level on QQQ. Otherwise, I'm definitely not taking any other trades today. We absolutely killed it today. Literally, probably one of the better days this month. Honestly, nothing like stupid crazy. We did have that like 410%er on SPY, but after this month, it's been a wild month. I do want to say thank you guys for being in the room this month. I've had an amazing time. It's been a grind. We went from Facebook and Amazon earnings at the beginning of the month and 1,000% runners to a really nice day to end the month, and it's been a lot even in between. So thank you guys for being in the room this month. Hopefully we'll see you stick around in the room next month as well. We're going to have some even more levels up in terms of the content and stuff that's coming out. And like I said, we're going to be revamping the live streams a little bit, hopefully towards some more mid-morning streams. So thank you guys again for being in the room. Very excited to see you all again next month, and I will see you guys on Twitter and Discord later today. Peace out, guys.